At the end of this tutorial, you will learn how to model and texture this Viking shield in Blender and Substance Painter. And of course, you can download the entire project from our Gumroad page. It's totally free and the link is in the description. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm gonna start with a cylinder. So Shift A, Mesh and Cylinder. And I'm gonna rotate this 90 degrees and scale through X-axis like so. Then I'm going to apply the scale, Control A, scale, then tap into edit mode and select these two faces, and I for inset, and then go to edge, bridge edge loops. All right, this is the outside of the shield, and I'm going to go inside for the wooden part. So add a cube and scale this down. I'm going to put 3 wooden parts up and 3 down here. So I'm going to scale this down, and it's about 3 parts. So I'm gonna a little bit scaling down here. I'm gonna move this closer to the center, and also I'm going to scale this through X-axis like this, and of course through Y-axis as well, and applying the scale. And then I'm going to add a modifier called array, but before that we need to delete these 2 faces. We don't need that. All right, so now let's go for modifiers and array, and I'm gonna put this on Z, so 1, but I need to add a little gap between these 2, so I'm going to put this on 1.005 and 2 parts. All right, also we need to move this a little closer to the center, so maybe here. And then I'm going to add another array, and I'm going to put this on negative 1.005. I think it's a little too much. We need to make it half. So I'm going to put this on 25. And yeah, I think that's okay. And then I'm going to apply this, both arrays, like so. Or maybe a little scaling up for this. All right, cool. Next, we need to cut the outer side of this wood. I'm going to use Boolean to do this. And I'm going to use this outer side of the shield to use this operation. So I'm going to press Shift D to make a copy. And I'm going to go to isolate mode and edit mode. And I'm going to select this loop here. And I'm going to scale this up, but not from the X-axis. So I'm going to press Shift X to exclude the X-axis from scaling. So I'm going to scale this up like so. Doesn't matter how much. So let's go back. And also we need to scale this, scale all of this through X-axis like so. That's pretty big. All right. Next we need to select this wooden part. All right, select this and go to modifier and select Boolean. And then select this object for the target and put this on difference and apply. Then we don't need this one, so delete. So let's select this wooden part and go to isolate mode. And here is the result. And also we have this cap here. We don't need that. We need to delete this. So go to edit mode. Let's go for wireframe, and I'm going to select these faces and delete. Also this. All right, now we need to delete some vertices close to the edge. So I'm going to go closer here. We can keep this one, and let's go closer. These 2 we need to delete. Dissolve these vertices. And down here, these 2 as well. And also these 2, I'm going to delete this. And also these 2. All right, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Now let's connect these vertices together. To do that, I'm going to use the knife tool by pressing K and click here, and then press C on your keyboard. By pressing C, you are going to turn on the cut through. So I'm going to select this one and hit enter. If you turn on the cut through, you can cut through your model and your cut it's going to go through and affect the other side of your model as well. Select the knife tool and click here, select this one and hit enter. I'm going to continue and do the cuts. Also a vertical cut all through the model like this. Hit enter to apply this. You can leave your model like this, but as we are going to make this shield a curve shape like this, it's better to add some vertical edges too. So I'm going to do the same thing, but for the vertical axis. All right, I think this is okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is adding some modifiers. So first I'm going to add the bevel, and let's get closer just in case I'm going to apply the scale. All right, let's go closer, and I'm going to put the segments on 2 and turn down the amount something around here. All right, cool. Next thing I'm going to add is adding subdivision surface with 2 levels, and let's turn on the shade smooth. Now we are going to make this curve. So I'm going to add an empty, doesn't matter anything you can add. Then I'm going to move this a little behind, so I'm holding control to snap it here, and I'm going to select this wooden part and go for the cast modifier, and down here under the object I'm going to pick this empty as a target, and as you can see here we have the curve, but I'm going to turn off the z-axis like so. / to go back, and I'm going to select this outer side and the wooden part and Control L and copy modifiers. Then also I'm going to scale this down to match this wooden part, and also I'm going to apply the cast and move this a little inside by pressing G and X to move this closer to the wooden part. And also for the wooden part I'm going to apply the cast as well. So here we go. Then I'm going to go to edit mode for this outer side and select these loops, and I'm going to scale this up, not from the x-axis, so pressing Shift X to exclude this. I'm going to scale this up a little or maybe more, and then pressing Control R to add an edge loop here. Then select this loop and right click, extrude faces along normal like so. So you can shade and smooth this. Then again go to edit mode and selecting these. Then press E and right click to cancel this, and then S for scale and Shift X to exclude the x-axis. And then up here I'm going to put this on individual origin and scale this down, and again Shift X to exclude the x-axis, and I'm going to put this even closer, and again put this on boundary box center, and I think that's too much, so I'm going to scale this down a little and pressing Shift X to exclude the x-axis like so. But I'm going to do some minor editing, so I'm going to press 1 for vertex, and I'm going to select these, and then I'm going to scale this down a little, and of course Shift X, and here we go. Now we are going to create this center part, but I'm going to move this a little up because it's not at the center, this wooden part. So I'm going to move this up a little to match the center almost, but as we apply the cast, we're going to lose a little perfection of the curve. That's not important, right? So I'm going to add a cube and scale this down like so, and I'm going to move this here, and I'm going to press Ctrl 3 to add a subdivision with 3 levels, and I'm going to apply this. I'm going to add another cast and put this on 1, and again I'm going to apply this as well, and then go to edit mode and select these to wireframe, selecting these, and I'm going to delete these faces. I'm going to select this edge loop, and I'm going to press S, X, and 0 to flatten this, and press E and release this by right click, and S for scaling, like so, and E for extrude through X-axis. All right. Then I'm going to select these two and Control L and copy modifiers. I'm going to move this and put this to the center, and maybe a scaling down a little and shade it smooth. But I think this sphere is pretty big, so I'm going to go to edit mode and select these polys and Control plus to grow your selection till here, and I'm going to scale this to X-axis, and I'm going to decrease the size like this, and I'm going to move this to X-axis through here. So more detail, I'm going to add a cube, scale down, scale up through Z-axis, and I'm going to apply the scale and rotate this through Z-axis 45 degrees. Move this here a little, go to edit mode, and I'm going to select these two polys. All right, and I'm going to select these two vertices and scale this up, and select these two vertices and press J to join, and also these two, and also deleting these two edges, dissolve, something like this. And then I'm going to select these vertices and flatten this through X-axis, so S, X, and 0 to flatten. And I'm going to scale this down and move this here, and rotate this a little, reposition, and also I'm going to scale this to Y-axis to make this a little thicker, right? And also I'm going to select this wooden part and Control L, copy modifiers. Let's go closer. I'm going to increase the amount, oops, for this one, I'm going to increasing the amount of the bevel and shade a smooth. The next thing I'm going to do is copying this to the center. So I'm going to put the pivot point to the cursor and select this one, Shift D, then R, and press 60 and hit enter, then Shift R to copy this. And I think the whole thing is a little big, so I'm going to select all of this and scale this down till here. Then add another cube, and as before I'm going to press Ctrl 3 to add a subdivision with 3 levels. I'm going to apply this and add a cast and put this on 1 and apply this as well. And then I'm going to go to edit mode and select these faces and delete. All right, then scale this down. I'm going to put this on boundary box and scale this down and put this up here and shade smooth. I'm going to put this here. All right, then again I'm going to put this on the 3D cursor, the pivot point, and select this one, Shift D, R, and 90, hit enter, and then Shift R to repeat through this. And again I'm going to select this one, make a copy, Shift D, put this down here. Again, put the pivot point to 3D cursor and Shift D, R, and this time I'm going to add 20, hit enter, and Shift R to repeat the last command. Then also I'm going to select this and move this to this part, and again put this on 3D cursor, Shift D, R, and 60 this time, and hit enter and Shift R to repeat. And the last part, we're going to, inside this shield, I'm going to add a very simple grip by adding a plane, and go to edit mode and delete this edge, delete, and select these two vertices and move this to the right and tab out, scale this down, and go to edit mode, select these two vertices and Ctrl Shift B for bevel, and scroll your mouse for some segments, tab out and go to object, convert to curve. Then go to object data properties, and under the geometry, I'm going to add depth like so. And then I'm going to, again, to object, convert to mesh. Press Ctrl 2 for two levels, resolution for subdivision surface. I'm going to turn off the edit mode because I'm going to go to edit mode and add an edge loop here and here, and select these faces and extrude this along normal like so. Isolate this. Also, we can delete these faces as well. And maybe these edge loops, we can move this. And also I'm going to select these edge loops and Control V for bevel. Two segments is enough. And here we go. I know the grip for the shells are more complicated, it's different, but I'm going to create this like this, very simple, just for the sake of the tutorial. But if you want to, you can make this different shapes in different ways. So I'm going to rotate this 45 degrees, hit enter, shade smooth, and move this closer to the shell. So basically the model is done. Now I'm going to delete this empty, press A to select all, and press M, and I'm going to add a new collection. I'm going to call this shell backup, hit enter. All right. And I'm going to make a copy, Shift D, and right click, move this to collection. Also turn off the shell backup. These are backup with all the modifiers. And I'm going to apply all the modifiers. Go to object, convert to mesh. So this way I'm going to apply all the modifier at once. So now we are going to unwrap this. Before doing the unwrap, let's do some minor things. First, select all and right click, set the origin to geometry. Second, check the normals. If there's any flip normal, there's nothing, cool. So turn this up, face orientation. Third is joining some of these objects together. So I'm going to select all and holding Control to deselect these objects. And I'm going to join these spherical shapes together by pressing Ctrl J. Also, I'm going to join these as well. And the last thing is adding UV checker material. So I'm going to select this wooden part and go for material, add a new material, and under base color, click here, and image texture, add a new generated type to UV grid, and put the width and height to 4K and hit OK. So if I go to material preview, here is the checker, but that's distorted because we need to unwrap this. So let's go back to solid view and select this one and go to isolate mode. Let's go closer, go to edit mode, and for the edge, go closer. I'm going to select this edge, right click and mark seam, and also this one. Click here, alt click here, go closer, shift and alt and click here and add the mark seam. All right, now select all, U, and unwrap. If you check the material preview, here is your result. Let's go back. I'm going to select this one, go to isolate mode, go to edit mode, and I'm going to select this edge and also this one. Hold shift and alt and click and mark seam. Also, let's go closer. I'm going to select these edge loops and add a seam. Also select this one and mark seam. And also we need to add a cut from here, holding Control and click. Also down here. Or maybe one from inside. All right, now select all U and unwrap. Let's go back from the isolate mode and then select this one and the wooden part, Control L and link material. And if you go to material preview, here is your result. For this spherical part, I'm going to go to edit mode, select all U and unwrap, and then link the material, and here we go. Also for this grip, go to edit mode. I'm going to select this edge loop, mark seam, select all U and unwrap, and link the material. And also for this one, I'm going to select this middle edge and mark seam, select all U and unwrap, and link the material. And the last one, this middle part, go to isolate mode and go to edit mode. And I'm going to select this and this one. And also one from here. And mark seam. And then select all U and unwrap. And link the material. There we go. All right, so now we need to pack this. And as you can see, we have different textile densities. So I'm going to go to UV editing and I'm going to select all the models and press tab and A to select all. And this is our islands. For packing, I'm using two add-ons. Press N, one textile density and two UV packer. Both are free add-ons. I will put the link in the description. You can download. And for the textile density, we are going to go for the default number. And I'm going to select all and set my TD. All right. Here now, as you can see, we have the same textile density for each part. All right. Select all again. Then go to UV packer. And I'm going to turn off the rescale UV chart because we are going to lose our textile density. And I'm going to hit pack. It's cool, but we need to fix something. The orientation of the wooden part is important because when we're going to Substance Painter, we need to have the same orientation for all of these parts. So I'm going to select this one and I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees. And I think that's it. All right. So again, I'm going to select all and turn off the pre-rotation and put this on 0 and hit pack again. And here we go. We can go for the Substance Painter, but before that, we need to do one more thing, which is setting material. So I'm going to select this wooden part, and I'm going to delete this, add a new one, and I'm going to call this wood. You can set a color if you want to, and I'm going to select all the rest, and select one material for all of them. Select this one, and delete this material. Set a new one, and I'm going to call this metal. And we can add a color for this, a random color. Select all, deselect this one by holding Control and drag, and then select this one, this middle one, and Control L and link material. Here we go. And the last thing I'm going to change is select this one, go to edit mode. We need to separate this spherical shapes. So I'm going to go to wireframe and select these and press P selection. And I'm going to separate this from the other spherical shape because I want to reposition this. Select this one, this outer spherical and this outer shell, and also this grip. Let's go closer. I'm going to move this inside. So press G, X, and holding Shift to make it precisely move. And I'm going to move this around here. So that's it. All right. If you want to, you can join these two together again. So Ctrl J to join. We can now export. So select all, go to File, Export, FBX, and select these selected objects and hit Export. Now we can move to Substance Painter. Now we are in Substance Painter. Go to File, New, Select, and select your object and hit OK. In upper right corner of the screen, you can click the baking and then set your output to whatever size you want. I'm going to put this on 4K, use low poly mesh as high poly mesh, and anti-aliasing to 4K and hit bake. All right, the baking is done. Upper right corner of the screen, you can select this paint. Also upper right corner again, you can see your texture set list, which you have metal and the wood. So I'm gonna start with the wood. Under your asset panel and the smart material, search for wood and add wool walnut to your object. Let's go closer. You can change the resolution through texture set setting. We can put this on 2K to see this better. And I'm going to open this folder and select the base layer. Right click here. I'm going to go for a reddish color. So I'm going to put this on red, and I'm going to put this on a darker value, something around here maybe. Make a copy from this base layer. So Ctrl D to make a copy. I want to make this half part a white painted layer. Select this one, right click here and put this something white like so. I'm going to add a black mask. Let's delete this and go for mask and search for paint old, this one, and click drag this and drop this on your mask like so. Then you can select your mask editor and right click here and change your global balance, something around here. Again, select your mask layer, right click here and add paint. Then go here and select polygon fill and select the mesh fill and put the color on black and select these meshes like so, and then you can go back to your paint. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is add a fill layer, and I'm going to put this above all of the layers. Also, you can collapse this folder, and for this layer I'm going to right click here and I only need the color and roughness. So holding Alt and click on color to only select the color and the roughness, and I'm going to increasing the roughness and decreasing the value of the color. I want something dark or maybe red dark, something like this. Add a black mask, right click on the black mask, add a generator, right click here, hit the generator and search for dirt and select the dirt. Then you can change the level of the dirt and also the contrast like so. And I'm going to double click here. I'm going to call this dirt 1 because I'm going to add another dirt. Delete this, and under this smart material also again search for dirt and put this on this object, and then open this folder, select the mask editor and right click here, and I'm going to turn down the global balance, something like this. Now we're going to create the metal part. So search for iron forge old and drag this and drop this on your object. Here we go. And open this folder, select the base. I'm going to change this to something more dark like this. Also, you can change the size to 2K or any size you want. I'm going to put this on 2K to see the details better. Also, you can select the mask of the edge, select metal edgeware, right click here and change this. And also again, let's add the dirt and put this on this object. And again, open this, select the mask editor and turn down the global balance, something like this. And the last thing I'm going to add is some scratches. So select the wood and add the paint layer, put this above all of the layers, and right click here, go down. I don't need color, no metal, and reference and normal and height. So I'm going to put this on something a little rough, and for the height I'm going to put this down, something maybe around here. Now let's right click here and go up, and for the alpha I'm gonna search for scratch. So I think this one is okay. By holding Control and right click and drag, you can change the size. By holding Control and right click and up and down, you can change the hardness for something around here. And also if you hold Control and left click and drag, you can rotate this brush. So I'm going to hit the brush here. I think that's too much. Let's change this. Maybe something like this. Also, we are going to add another one for the metal layer. So select the metal layer and the same thing, add the paint layer, put this above, right click, and we don't need this. And same setting, rotate this and add one here. Or maybe we can change this height. And also I'm going to add a white mask. Let's go close, and if you hold shift and right click, you can rotate your HDRI. And I'm going to mask some of these scratches. Also, I'm going to do the same thing for the wood. Okay, we are done, and we are going to export the textures. So go to File, Export Textures, and select your folder. And I'm going to put the template to Blender Principal BSDF and put the file type to JPEG and the size to 4K and hit export. All right, now the export is done. We're going to back in Blender. To import the texture, you need to turn on the Node Wrangler. So go to Preferences, Add-on, and search for Node Wrangler and turn this on. And then go to Shading, select your object. I'm going to delete this, select New, and select your node, and Ctrl-Shift-T, and go to your texture folder and select these for metal and import. Here we go. Also, you need to select all and deselect the wood and select this metal and Ctrl-L and link material. And the wood part, I'm going to delete this, new one, select this node and Ctrl-Shift-T, and then select the wood and import. Here we go. Before we wrap up, I wanted to showcase some of the amazing artworks you have shared with us from the previous tutorials. It's so exciting to see the creativity and skills you are developing. Thank you again to everyone who submitted their art. We love getting to highlight your hard work here. If you have any pieces you'd like us to share in future videos, feel free to send us via social media or email us at pixlways@gmail.com. And as always, thank you so much for watching our tutorials. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.